Okay, welcome everyone to the fifth meeting in the new member orientation program. This program performs the essential task of introducing the world of Toastmasters to the new members and making all its wonderful resources known to them. It is sad when people want to improve themselves and grow, but do not find the resources to do so. However, it is unforgivable if the resources are available and we do not know about them. Today is the fifth meeting for the fifth month in a row for the new member orientation program, the NMOP. And we have three distinguished speakers who will give us give every new member a complete overview of the available resources in the wonderful world of Toastmasters. We will be introduced to the Toastmasters and to the pathways of Toastmasters, and also to the Toastmasters contests, the contests involved in the Toastmaster world. Before we start, I want to say that we are honored to have with us the Program Quality Director for District 20, DTM Yasser Al-Qashar. Thank you so much, DTM Yasser, for being here with us. We are very happy to have you. And of course, we are very grateful to DTM Jahangir Khan, who is the chair of NMOP. He is putting a lot of effort into coordinating these meetings in the series. We are very happy to have you attending here with us, Jahangir. Thank you so much. We are also fortunate to have with us Toastmaster Wafi Anwar, who will be monitoring our time, and TM Ruzbe Bashir, who will be the IT coordinator of today. If you want to turn on the cameras for us to greet you. We truly appreciate your contribution, role players. TM Wafi, can you show the flashing colors for that indicate the progress of the time for every speaker? The green color shows that the speaker is allowed to stop, and the yellow color is indicates that the speaker needs to wrap up. And finally, the red color indicates that we are out of time. Okay, let's get into the crux of the meeting. Our first speaker is Ritu Ann Roy. She is a passionate software developer, machine learning enthusiast, debater, and quizzer. Having been brought up in various cities in India and Bahrain, she represents a melting pot of culture. Electronics and communications engineer from the prestigious National Institute of Technology in Calcutta in India. She is currently an IT project manager in the financial service domain. Ritu will be giving us a presentation titled Introduction to Toastmasters. Introduction to Toastmasters by Toastmaster Ritu Ann Roy.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sharif, for that warm introduction, to DTM Jahangir and to DTM Yasser Al-Qashar for the opportunity. Greetings, experienced Toastmasters, newbies, and guests. I am Ritu Ann Roy. It's not even been a year since I have ventured into my journey of Toastmasters, but here I am giving all of you a workshop on introduction to Toastmasters. This is such a testimony of how Toastmasters help individuals to rise and to shine. Now, many of you who are Toastmasters or who plan to join Toastmasters must be doing your fair bit of research, like me. Before I joined Toastmasters, I did Google. So I read about how Toastmasters was started by Dr. Rod C. Smedley in so-and-so year, in so-and-so place. And after some time, I got bored. Because what was in it for me was missing a bit, at least from the sources that I tried to research on. So here I am trying to tell you what Toastmasters is about from the point of view of a person who is curious to just see and learn. And once you see and learn, you can decide whether you want to be a member of this prestigious organization. Dear friends, Toastmasters is a non-profit education organization. In many of our clubs, members learn communication and leadership skills by practicing public speaking and working with others in a warm and friendly environment. It sounds like it's scripted because it isn't just reading from a script. But let me tell you what happens in a club meeting. So we have spaces where we learn and grow, and some of them are by giving impromptu speeches. So we do have a session called Table Topics, where you will be called out. Don't be scared. If you don't want to, you can always say, I don't want to participate. At least you can watch others try to perform. Where you will get 1 minute to speak on a topic that's assigned at the moment. For example, let's imagine we have somebody here, and this is my topic for that person. I'll be like, hi, so-and-so person. The topic for today is, what is the happiest memory of your life? And your time starts now. You get 1 minute to speak. Now you might think, why do I want to talk about the happiest moment in my life? Dear guests and young Toastmasters, table topics might be a session that comes up only in Toastmaster meetings. But table topics comes in every segment of our life, every single day. Yes, when you meet a new person, when you want to deliver an impromptu session in your workplace, when you want to organize a small meeting in your neighborhood, in all of these places, the skill of impromptu speaking comes into practice. And this is a place where you can grow and mold your skills. We also get an opportunity to present prepared speeches. 3 or more speakers of our club present their speeches based on projects from Toastmasters Pathways program. The projects cover topics such as speech organization, voice modulation, language, gestures, and persuasion skills. Different pathways help each one of us to realize our strengths and our weaknesses and to build on to what we already have in us. We also get opportunities to present in various non-Toastmaster events. They also count as Toastmaster projects. So this will give you an opportunity to venture outside your small club and develop the skill of public speaking. And finally, the best part about Toastmasters, the one that's sung the least, but is a hero in this entire program, mentorship and evaluation. I am very fortunate to have met wonderful mentors like DTM Jahangir Khan, DTM Khalid Jalal, and so on, who push me beyond my limit to grow and to develop. Even you will meet mentors, not just assigned mentors, but also everyone in Toastmasters is a mentor for you who wish only the best for you. We do have many other Toastmasters clubs as well. Some of them might need role players for their meetings to be conducted successfully. And that's when you get the opportunity to be a part of another culture, learn, rise, and shine. We have segments called evaluation sessions, general evaluation and speech evaluation, where we have other people come and talk to you about what you did well and how you could improve. If you're in the world of IT and agile management like I am, this might give you a feeling of sprint retrospective, and this is exactly what constructive evaluation is all about. One session I have is to record your first speech and then come back to it 1 or 2 years down the lane, and you will see the magic of evaluation and mentorship that has brought a significant change on you. Now, I spoke so much about Toastmasters, but we must understand for every meeting to be conducted successfully, we have various role players that act front or behind the screens. So let me just give you a small idea of who the role players are. So we have a person called Timer. Just like the name suggests, he takes on this role to improve the time management skills of the entire meeting. He makes sure that the speeches are on time, the breaks are on time, and the entire meeting is on time. Because nobody wants to come to a meeting thinking that it will take 2 hours and end up spending 6 hours for that meeting. If you are part of that meeting, would you join Toastmasters? Probably not, right? So yes, we do have a timer who helps us make sure everything goes smoothly. Then we have TMOD, Toastmaster of the Day. Every Toastmasters meeting comes with a theme. For example, the Toastmaster theme of the previous meeting of my club was Sound of Music. Because if you have the same thing happening every meeting, there might not be incentive for you to learn and grow in a new way every single time. Because you know how it's going to be, what's in it, I might skip. But no, that's where the Toastmasters theme come into prominence. Every club in every meeting brings up a unique theme, and it's a Toastmaster of the Day opportunity to bring that theme into life. Then we have a person called grammarian. The grammarian helps the club members to improve their grammar and vocabulary. He or she will note down specific great examples of language usage and also help us to improve if we made any mistakes. My favorite role is the R counter role. The moment you hear R counter, like, huh? Come again? What was that? R counter is to note any overused or filler words, just like the name sounds. If you keep saying and so on, it's our counter's responsibility to note down how many times you have used these filler words and how you can learn to avoid them. These filler words come unknowingly in our words every single day. But by learning that we have spoken these filler words so and so times, we will subconsciously learn to get away from that and to make our deliveries more smoother. We have someone called the speech evaluator who evaluates his speeches, as I rightly mentioned, and also a general evaluator who notes everything that happened in the meeting. Basically, someone who has his eyes and his ears on the whole time in the meeting. So that's what you will see the next time when you go to a Toastmasters meeting. Don't be flustered. If you have any questions, feel free to ask any living person in the room. Just don't worry, because everyone is here for one purpose: to be better and to make the world a better place. Now, you might think, yes, that's amazing, but who is driving this? Because this is a non-profit organization. Yes, we all come to Toastmasters to learn and grow, not just leadership skills, but also our speaking skills. I spoke about speaking skills till now. Let me talk about the leadership skills aspect. So every Toastmasters club has various leadership roles, and we call that our executive committee, where we have the club president who has the vision of how the club should go for the next 1 year. We have the VP education who makes sure that everyone is doing their projects well. Every member of the club gets a chance to speak, to identify their great and weak points, and to push it to the next level. We have VP membership, someone who spreads about the club to non-Toastmasters, to other club members, and who invites guests to come to the meeting and to learn more about Toastmasters. I am VP membership of the Club Behar Elite Speakers Toastmasters, and if you're interested to join the club where I am learning and growing, feel free to connect with me because I'm the right person who can guide you about our club. We also have very important roles like the VPPR, Vice President Public Relations, who prepares the posters and circulates it far and wide in this virtual world. We have the Sergeant at Arms. Sergeant at Arms is someone who makes sure that everything in the hall is rightly set and prepared, who gives you the guidance of where the exits are and what you should do if something unfortunate happens. He is someone who makes sure that the right people enter and leave the room at the right time. And then we also have secretary who make sure to note down everything that happens in today's meeting so that the next time we come, the secretary gives us an idea of how the meeting went. This is what you see in the Toastmasters platform. Behind the screens, each member of the Toastmasters Club works together to make sure that the entire year of the term goes in the smoothest manner possible. We have various new ideas coming up in Toastmasters, separate from the Toastmasters template. It keeps people who have been for over 20 years in this club still active. And that's the magic of the Toastmasters program. I will soon share a link in the chat which talks about all the clubs in our District 20. It's available in the internet for free, but to reduce your time for searching, I will just provide the link in the chat. You can go around, explore new clubs, maybe near your workplace, near your home, near your circle of friends. Probably venture far out and wide to see what other clubs have in store for me. And you never know, you might find your best friend, your best mentor, or even your next business partner in another Toastmasters meeting. And with that, I would like to conclude by saying, my dear friends, learning is a never-ending activity. And when there's a whole set of people ready to push you to the next level, is it wise to lose that chance? Back to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ritu, for this wonderful talk about the world of Toastmasters. Although I've been a Toastmaster for a year now, but your enthusiasm made me much more excited about being part of the Toastmaster family. Thank you. Thank you so much. If any of the attendees have any questions to Ritu, please write them down in the chat, either the general chat or my private chat, and I will be voicing these questions to Ritu in the Q&A session at the end of this meeting. And now I invite Toastmaster Rusby to show us the certificate of appreciation for Ritu. Thank you so much, Ritu. That was a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's get back to business. Our next speaker is DTM Anud Omar. She first joined Toastmasters in 2017. And very early on, she was fascinated with the Toastmasters.
Brother Sharif, my apologies for interrupting.
No,
but
sure.
There have been one small request by Toastmaster Anud. Unfortunately, she's having some technical issue for a few minutes. She's trying to solve it. In this regard, can we request Toastmaster Biji if she can go ahead with her session? Apologies, but that's technical issue from her side.
Yeah, is Toastmaster Biji ready? Would she be willing to start now?
Toastmaster Biji?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. So let me just...
Okay. While Toastmaster Biji is getting ready, let me try to shift gears and say that our second speaker would be Toastmaster Biji Gittins. She has been a Toastmaster since 2011. She joined Toastmasters to improve her confidence in public speaking. I'm sure she has acquired many more skills since then. A member of Mangaf Communicators in Kuwait, She has taken up the roles of Vice President for Education and Club President. She was also privileged to have served as District Admin Manager in 2021-2022, CJ for the International, and TT at the DTAC 2021, and Training Coordinator for the District Program Quality Directing Team in 2020-2021. Her Toastmaster journey has been humbling experience. She seems to be a very humble person, down to earth. Her education is very down. Her introduction is very down to earth. I would praise more if I were you, but she always likes to say, "Once a Toastmaster, always a Toastmaster." Her journey is going on. So BG will be talking to us about the contests in Toastmaster. So introduction to Toastmaster contests, BG, TM BG Gittens. Thank you.
Thank you to our moderator and to the organizing team of the NMOP series, to all the district officials, DTMs, Toastmasters, new members, all our club leaders and future leaders. Good evening. I'm so happy to be with you in your midst this evening to present to you about Toastmasters contest. Now, my previous colleague, Toastmaster Ritu had mentioned to you about an introduction to Toastmasters. And this time, what we're doing now is to explain to you about a tradition that's been following for now, I would say almost 100 years. I would say they had contests when they started, but our organization is the one that's celebrating its centenary next year. And as we go along the meeting, I'll explain to you why we need to be participating in the contest. So let's start. What is the purpose of the Toastmasters contest for our new members? Contest means, yes, we compete. Why do we compete? So that we have an opportunity to have a better speaking experience. And for those Toastmasters who have been competing for a while, it gives you an opportunity to compete with your other Toastmasters to see how far your skills have been developed and how far you've come in your journey. So this is a tradition that we follow for years, and we encourage every member to step on that platform and do the contest confidently. And don't worry, you're not alone in this journey. To explain to you what the Toastmasters contest is about and how we have this sort of pyramid, we start here with the fact that it's a Toastmasters tradition and the fact that we have to follow some set of rules. Every contest has a set of rules. So here we have the 2023-2024 speech contest rulebook, which is updated every year with the picture of the new world champion of public speaking's photograph. And this is used as a reference for your journey in the Toastmasters contest. There are 5 types of contests that we follow in Toastmasters: international speech contest, humorous speech contest, evaluation, table topics, and tall tales. In our district, we follow 4 of these contests, except for the tall tales. And tall tales is where you have a speech contest, and as the topic goes, you actually present a tall tale. So it's a very unique sort of a competition contest that some of the clubs go through. And if you do get an opportunity, please participate. Our club starts with the contest at a very basic level. We then progress to area, division, and our district contest. For our new members that are joining in, you all belong to a club. A club, along with 2 or 3 other clubs, is then segregated into an area, 4 or 5 areas to a division, a number of divisions into a district, and we're District 20 that comprises of 4 countries, as you see in our virtual background: Kuwait, Bahrain, Iraq, and Egypt. So as we progress through different levels of these contests, once you reach the district, now the district contest is something that's coming up next year in May, which is the annual Toastmasters contest, and it will be in the state of Kuwait this year. Please make sure you register. The information will be out soon. Once you compete through all the levels of the contest, you get the district level, and you compete for the international evaluation, table topics, and humorous speech contest. Now, at the district level, if you win the international speech contest, then you go up to a regional quarterfinals. Now, the region is a classification of so many districts. And here, a video recording of your speech will be sent to a set of judges that then qualify you to progress forth to the next level, which is the semifinals of the World Champion of Public Speaking. And once you're at that arena, which will be in California next year, if you do win the semifinals, you then compete in the finals to become the accredited or the World Champion of Public Speaking. And we have so many Toastmasters that started out as new members, novice members that reached public speaking, World Champion of Public Speaking. So this is something, if you would like to take this up as a journey, I truly encourage you. Now that you have an idea of how you progress, the next question is, okay, so what are these contests? And am I eligible? Can I participate? Let's see what that is about. The first thing is about table topics. So now Ritu had mentioned to you the different types of programs that we have in our Toastmasters education program. And table topics is, of course, the most exciting one. Now, the eligibility is for all the contests, you have to be a paid member of your club. Make sure your dues are submitted to your club officers, and your club has to be in good standing along with the area and division and district, which is usually the case. So as long as your club is in good standing, then you're good to go for all the contests. And you can even compete if you haven't begun your Pathways project. So that's the beauty of it. As the saying goes, with table topics, it's to help you develop your impromptu speaking skills. And now many of you perhaps you can have a show of hands. I cannot see you through the screen now, but I'm sure you participated in the table topics contest, in table topics of your club. And you probably got an idea of how the whole program goes. So we follow the same rules. It's 1 to 2 minutes. And try answering the question. So whenever you're presented with a question, I would say answer the question and try to go a bit more beyond by having like a mini speech. So you have an opening, you have a body, and then you have a conclusion. And try to bring in some points, as in they say the rule of 3. So you add in 3 anecdotes or 3 stories, or even add a personal story that can always relate to an audience. And for this table topics contest, we also have something known as the judges ballot. And the judges ballot is something that you would have to refer when you prepare for the table topics contest. So this information will be shared with you during this meeting and also available with your club officers. This is table topics now. The next contest that you can participate in is evaluation. Evaluation is presenting a 2 to 3 minute speech of a 5 to 7 minute speech that a target speaker has presented. So it's actually observing. So here you practice your observation, listening, and presentation skills. The eligibility remains the same as in the table topics contest. And during the evaluation, again, try to connect with the audience. You have information that you can say that you relate to the speaker. Be positive and be mindful that, of course, you are not evaluating the person, but you're evaluating their speech. And then again, we have the judge's ballot for the evaluation that you would have to use as a reference while you prepare for your evaluation speech contest. Now it gets a bit higher up in the level. We're going to the speeches. So we start with the humorous speech contest. Now, I know some members have asked, okay, so humorous speech contest, so I may not be funny, I may not come out as a funny person, or I generally don't have the demeanor. Now, again, it's not a stand-up comedy show that we're doing, and it's a series of conversations that we have with ourselves and the audience. And again, the ballot, the judge's ballot that we have will be a guideline for you to prepare for the humorous speech contest. So for all the speech contests, you have content, you have delivery, and then you have your language. So these are the three key areas that you would have to focus on. And a humorous speech contest would, of course, have some humor. It have to be substantially original, so you cannot copy information from the internet or go ahead and say some other people's funny information or stories, or at least you can paraphrase it, but no one should know that. Definitely, because we have a set of judges that's going to be watching you if your speech is substantially original. So be very mindful of that. And of course, this topic can be chosen by you. Make sure it's not offensive and the jargons used are known to all the audience members, because you have a diverse people available. Again, use the ballot as your guide. The next one is the international speech contest. Now for this one, we would need to work a bit more harder, because this is the speech contest that many people really, really strive to be. Because if you win the international speech contest at your club, you have a chance of becoming the world champion of public speaking. I kid you not. Everyone has started that way. So I encourage you. The only change here for the eligibility is that you would have to complete 2 levels of your path, or a DTM from the previous program, or a current DTM. And in this case, the eligibility remains the same. You can present any speech that is known to you. So something, your story, deliver that with passion and emotion and try to connect with the audience. Now that we've seen the different type of contests, the 4 contests, we have the judging ballots. Why should you participate? Now, over time, it helps you improve yourself. It gives you more confidence. Every time you're on the stage, you present your speech with a different style. You're more streamlined, you're more composed. You get more feedback. I mean, so many people come to you with positive comments, with negative comments, or maybe even no comments. Oh, well, receive all of them with stride and then take your speech to another level. You gain confidence in yourself in accepting different roles in the district, different leadership roles. You expand your horizons. So if you're if you're a self-employed business person, or that's something that's what you want to do in the future, then you get more exposure. You gain that confidence, both in your professional and personal lives. It, of course, helps you build character. Now, this is something that I know if you participate for years and years and years, you kind of develop a thick skin. And you develop character, and it shows that the person is not giving up. So it's pretty much up to you. If you do not win in a Toastmasters contest, it's not the end of the world. So you get up or give in. You always try to inspire, to motivate and elevate others. So by you participating in the contest, will give someone else that confidence to go up there and, just present themselves. So why not just try? And this information was read through, I found this information on Toastmasters International website, and I just paraphrased it for you, but I found this article really good for us to know. And then, well, you start preparing for your speech contest, fellow members. Know the rules. Without the rules, there is no contest. So familiarize with it, sleep on it, eat it, drink it. That's what we say during the contest. Familiarize yourself with the judges' ballot. And now that we're moving into the post-COVID era, so we have hybrid contests. So if we are available physically to present for the contest, do that. If you're going to be presenting yourself or contesting on a virtual platform, then please make sure that you get with your clubs and familiarize yourself with the different rules, because there are rules on the virtual platform as well and physical. Always come up with a topic that you're familiar with, even if it's your story, even if it's for table topics, present something personal. Evaluation, you can always come up with a pre-speech. You can always have an opening and you can have a closing already ready. And in between is what you would have to prepare during the speech. Humorous, you already know, and international, you already know. So I've heard from people that they maintain like a little log book and they put all these stories and experiences and information they hear from other people, and they try to build on that. So at the time you are ready for your contest, you already have topics and you have information ready. And try to identify the purpose of your speech. What do you want your audience to feel? What do you want them to do? So if you identify the purpose of your speech, you can pretty much write your speech. Lean on your mentors and other Toastmasters for support. There's nothing wrong in asking for help. Everyone is there to help you. And competing requires time and effort. So it's going to take time from your personal life. It's going to take time from your professional life, because you'd be eating and sleeping with it. So yes, I've competed, so I have pretty much a little idea about how it is. And it takes a lot of perseverance and dedication, but hey, why not? And all the contests can be prepared in advance, and as long as you have an outline. So to recap, familiarize yourself with the rules, review through the judges' ballot, because that's how the judges will evaluate you. So why not be ahead of the game, correct? So while we come to the end, I'll leave you with a little challenge that I may see you at the contest platform this year. So if it doesn't challenge you, then it doesn't change you. And in Toastmasters, we learn in the moments of enjoyment. So go out there and see what you can do to inspire someone. This is our Toastmasters tradition. Welcome to the family. Over to you, moderator.
Thank you so much, BG, for this interesting presentation. I, for one, would like to tell you that I was so against joining any contests, but after your encouraging presentation, I think I'm gonna consider it. Just to gain the experience. I don't think I'm gonna win, but anyway, the experience is useful. As usual, if any of the attendees have any questions, please write them to me directly or in the general chat, so that in the Q&A session, we would be able to voice them to BG. So far, I had 2 questions, so please feel free to ask the questions that you have. And now I invite Toastmaster Rusbe to show the certificate of appreciation to Toastmaster BG. Thank you so much, Toastmaster BG, for this helpful and enlightening presentation.
Thank you.
All right. So is DTM Anoud ready? Now all the technical problems overcome? Yeah. Okay, great. So our final speaker is DTM Anoud Omar. She first joined Toastmasters in 2017. And very early on, she was fascinated with the Toastmasters mission and values. She is a member of Cairo Toastmaster Club in District 20, but also in SLC and Tasami clubs in District 104. During her journey as a Toastmaster, she was a member of several Arabic and English-speaking clubs and several executive committees in these clubs, serving as the SLC Toastmaster Club's president. She was also a club mentor, a club coach, and a coordinator for several YLP and Speechcraft programs. She is a District 104 2020 SATAC champion who won first place in Arabic table topics and evaluation contests and second place in the English table topics contest. For DTM Arnoud, Toastmasters has become a way of life. And she considers herself fortunate to be a member of this ever-thriving, supportive, and positive Toastmasters global community. I had the personal honor to meet DTM Arnoud just once in the Giza Toastmasters Club. She was the general evaluator, and we learned a lot from just a few minutes from her talking, and I'm sure that all of us will learn a lot more from her presentation titled Introduction to Pathways. Introduction to Pathways, DTM Arnoud Omar.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sharif, fellow Toastmasters, and most honorable newly joined Toastmasters. Good evening to all of you. And before I delve into the business of today, which is the introduction to the pathways, I need to ask a question. Have you joined the pathways or not yet? Even if you are already a seasoned Toastmasters, have you already selected a pathway? Have you joined the pathway? Have you activated the pathway? By a show of hands, please. Okay. I'm assuming that those who have showed hands, so the others didn't. I'm just making sure that this speech is going to be of value to someone, or otherwise I have wasted a lot of time putting up this presentation. I am glad, I am so happy that this is coming to become handy, hopefully for some of you at least. So before I delve into the presentation of tonight, which is an introduction to the pathways, let me give you a little bit of how we are going to take this through. I'm going to introduce you to the concept of the pathways, and then I'm going to take you through the whole selection process and a little bit about the operation of how we actually go about the pathways, and finally the progression in the pathway system itself. And before I take you in depth into these amazing pathways, I will tell you a little story that comes all the way from the dark ages. You see, I have been in Toastmasters for some time, and I was actually there even before they have launched the pathways. Yes, so I got to become introduced to the pathways since they were first launched by Toastmasters. And in the original curriculum that we had before Toastmasters, we had two different tracks. We had a track that completely focused on public speaking and another track that completely focused on leadership, communication and leadership. And what I personally noticed while I was going through my journey, that I was falling behind in some of the tasks that concerned the leadership track. I was so much focused into preparing speeches and doing some of the roles and then preparing speeches and taking feedback and improving my public speaking skills and sometimes working on my communication. And I was falling behind in terms of those leadership tasks that would improve my leadership skills in that leadership track. So what did ingenious Toastmasters decide to do, Toastmasters International? They apparently have felt that everybody was lagging behind in one of the tracks, and they decided to actually join these two together, and they come up with this ingenious idea called the pathways. So basically, these amazing, beautiful pathways are the curriculum, the educational program that we use in Toastmasters to develop ourselves. And within those pathways, we have a collection of 11 specialized pathways that are actually include within them unique skill set and unique competencies of 300 skills. Not just any skills, but skills that could be used in the real world, skills that are truly transferable, that we can use in our daily lives. The amazing beauty about this new learning education system, opposing to that one we had in the dark ages, that is actually online. So basically, you could use it anywhere, anytime. It's built for your convenience. It's interactive. It is user-controlled. You have your own password. You go through your own Toastmasters account, and it's very flexible to your own schedule. It's available in a little bit more than 10 languages. And of course, that includes Arabic and English for our district. And these are, as I said, the amazing 11 pathways that are currently available. I'm going to give you a hint about some of the pathways, but I would very much advise that you do log in today into your Toastmasters account. Give a look at that small link that says pathway and projects, and maybe delve into each of those pathways and try to learn more about them. But let me give you a hint about some of these pathways, starting with the dynamic leadership. It's a very much favorite pathway for almost everyone. In the dynamic leadership, this pathway prepares you to be that strategic leader. It has a combination of tasks that focuses on leadership and communication skills, and skills that are needed always to diffuse conflict and to try to elicit change in an organization or within a group. Another very favorite pathway of mine is effective coaching. And this pathway, unlike the first one, focuses on communication and hopes to build a positive communicator. And that person works to improve and understand how to build a consensus and eventually effectively use their interpersonal communication to contribute to the development of others by coaching. So if you have coaching in your dreams or in your horizons, maybe this is a pathway that you may consider. Finally, if you have been told that you are a funny individual and you want to put that into the test, maybe your selection might be the engaging humor pathway. You see, in that pathway, they are actually advocating for a humorous and engaging public speaker. It is all about humor and how humor and the sense of humor could be translated into engaging audiences, different type of audiences in different materials and different type of speeches. Again, these are the pathways that are there. I very much encourage that each and every one of you go today, log into your Toastmasters account and have a look and read a little bit about each one of those. I've already asked about the selection process. You see, while Toastmasters has availed many of the pathways, it did not leave us alone when it comes to selection, because I know that question would pop up to mind. Which pathway should I choose? Should I start with this one? Should I start with that one? Is this one for me? Should I not do either? I'm confused. And let me tell you this, I have seen people who have delayed this inevitable choice for months and months. But you see, Toastmasters International were a little bit ahead. And they actually give you two choices on how to select your future pathway. You could basically go and review that small summary overview about each of the pathways that tells you what that pathway focuses on in terms of skills and the outcome it hopes to achieve, or you could use their online assessment. And here the questions pop up. How could I use that online assessment? Let me guide you through a step-by-step process into how to reach that assessment into your account. So once you have logged into your account and you've reached this page, when you have actually clicked into the educational programs and you've clicked into the pathways, just scroll down this page and then go to the choose a pathway option. Once you have clicked on that button, you would see this question. This is the first question that will take you through the process of selecting your own pathway, and it starts by choosing the language. Once you have chosen the language and hit continue button, you would go to another page that asks two more questions. One of them is about your preference in terms of using a digital resource versus a hard copy. And of course, most of us in this era and time, of course, definitely after Corona, we all love digital material. And then the third question would be about how do you want to choose your pathway? Should it be through taking the assessment, or should it be through viewing all the pathways and then making that selection on your own? If you do choose to take an assessment, this would be the button that you hit. And then it will take you to another page that shows this particular window. Again, it will choose you to ask, it will ask you to choose your language and then hit the button start and take you through a series of questions that specifies those skills that you are urgently trying to develop now, not tomorrow, just now, the reasons why you have joined Toastmasters. And they don't leave you there. No, no, no. They dig even further. Why that skill? To what extent? Do you even know what that skill is? Or are you just hitting buttons and that's it? They really dig on the reasons and the skills that you want to develop. Once that happened, this assessment gives you the following result. It gives you your top 3 pathways to choose from, to start your journey with, your top 3 pathways. The assessment is beautiful because it comes in many languages. It has so many questions that really digs into that skills that you want to develop. As I said, it does not give you not 1, not 2, but even 3 choices to choose from for your primary pathway, for that window into this amazing journey of Toastmasters. But provided that you really felt, after all of that scrutiny questions that they did in the assessment, that that pathway is not for you, none of those 3 pathways are for you, maybe go back to the first option and review that small overview about each of the pathways and basically choose for yourself. The available option is always there. So how to go about the pathways, how to actually operate the pathways. You see, in every single pathway, you have to go through 5 levels. And within those levels, you have a number of projects. And those projects are exactly 14 projects. Sounds scary, yeah? 14 projects, 14 projects. You see, it does sound scary, but it just flips like that. I don't know, after you have achieved your DTM, there is no reason for you to go back and start another pathway. But look at me, I have already started 3 and I am opening a 4th one. So these pathways are very interesting to actually try and conquer. The pathways have definitely transcended the level of development that one can gain with that combination of skills. And that's why I'd encourage everybody to delve into the pathway systems and to try and do all of these levels and all of these projects. Within those 5 levels, as I said, there are 14 projects, and within the 14 projects, there are 10 that are required. You must do them, or otherwise you cannot proceed to the next level. And there are 4 elective projects. What do we mean by elective? We mean that you have a series of different projects to choose from. So unlike the required projects, it is a set project. You cannot change it. You don't have another option. You have to do that project as it is and follow its objective and its instructions. While in the elective project, you would be given an option of several elective projects that directly fits into your set of skills that you are supposed to gain from that designated pathway, and you get to choose. See how beautiful pathways are. Moving a little bit forward, let me tell you about how we actually go and log into the pathways. The system that we use is actually the Basecamp. And the Basecamp operating language, yes, indeed, is in English, but the content itself, the files, are available in several languages, as we have mentioned before. I would personally advise that everyone uses a PC instead of a mobile, because it gives you a better access to everything that is there. And I would also advise to use all of the tutorials, or at least some of them, when you first log into your Basecamp, to try to go by the Basecamp and learn how can you reach everything to its best capacity. Talking about logging, how do you log into the Basecamp? Good question. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sharif. I could see the question in your eyes. Thank you so much for asking that amazing question. Once again, you log into your account, and this is your very amazing profile picture and very amazing primary page of your profile, and it says go to Basecamp, and then you go to the Basecamp. And once you have chosen that option, it actually lays out to you all of the clubs that you are a member of. Yes, it doesn't just say whatever, it says a single club. And now you would be wondering, does it make a difference? Should I go through any of the clubs? Well, you see, the club that you choose to go through the Basecamp through, and then in the future, if you decide to submit an award through the Basecamp using that club, so your points go to that club. I hope that was not very confusing, because it was indeed for me the first time. If you do log in using a certain club and you do progress in your project levels, pathways, and hopefully complete a level, submit an award, and that award goes into the Basecamp, to the Basecamp manager, to your VPE in your club. Which club would it go to? The club that you chose in the beginning in your account. So that might be something for you to think about when you decide which club you want to go through first. You will get this page. This is the first page you will see when you log into the Basecamp. And as I said, it does actually show all of the pathways that you already have. For me, for example, I have 3 pathways. Some of them are the same pathway in different languages. And it also have other resources. So it has tutorials on how to use the pathway itself and all of the resources that are there, which again, I very much advise that you do give it a look, and even to go through the website and all of its ability on your own, just to familiarize yourself with all of the options that are there. Because it has such amazing tools. It has rooms where you can log in and actually pinpoint when do you want to do a certain role. It has room for files on your personal feedback, on your progress. It has rooms for your documents. It has room for your progression badges and certificates. It has room for everything. So just try to go through those tutorials and through the website in general, the web pages in general, and familiarize yourself with all of the options that are there. Once you have logged in one of those pathways, when you have just clicked into one of them, you go to this page, which is the pathway page. And as you see here, the pathway page actually shows on its left each of the levels in that path. And it shows also where you are right now. So for example, if you are at level 1, this parameter that shows that it's 100%, it tells you how much of this level have you completed? How many projects have you completed? Because those on the right that has titles, these are actually the projects. So levels to your left and then projects to your right. To start off your projects, you have to launch their material. And once you have launched your material and done it, and we are going to take you through how to do that in a bit, you would see that that certain project was marked with a tick like the one I have on each of these projects. Once you have completed all of the projects in a certain level, you can go to the mark complete option that shows very down at the bottom, and then send a request for approval of level completion. Once that happens, you would have a certificate that says, hooray, you have completed this level. And I know it sounds trivial, but trust me, after you have started doing these projects, it doesn't sound trivial anymore. Another thing, this is actually a parameter, again, to show you where are you at in terms of completing all of your pathway. So it does not only monitor your progress across the project in each level, but it also monitors your progress across the levels for all of the pathways. Finally, after you have done all of your levels, the final step would be the path completion project. And once you have done that, congratulations, my friend, your first pathway is done. Your project file. As I said, when you have launched a project, this is the page that you are supposed to see. And when you hit the start button, it will take you through a series of information about that certain project that tells you how to achieve its objective. It tries to develop your skill, taking you step by step and trying to define that skill, really give you a set of tools and a set of techniques that help you to, let's say, for example, break the ice. It takes you through a series of exercises, a series of assessment, and again, a series of tools to help you to complete your first project. If you look at the end of that page, you would see that small scroll down list. And once this button was hit, you would see how to navigate through this file. It gives you several options that, again, I would very much encourage all of you to go through them one by one, which you, of course, you have to do, because otherwise you are not going to benefit from those instructions and techniques that are provided in the materials of the pathways. But just let me take you through some of the steps in these files that are very much important to cater for. You see, in the your assessment part of your file, it tells you exactly the purpose of your project and what you are supposed to do in it. So it's basically a summary of what happens in your project. And then another important step is also assessing your skill before, which is basically an assessment that focuses very much on that certain objective that you want to cover in that project. And it has some questions that assesses where you are now before being introduced to this information. Then at the very down bottom of this list, you would see your evaluation. And this page takes you to your evaluation resources. And specifically, in this button, once you have touched it, you can download your evaluation form. I cannot tell you the number of times I had to go through answering this question: where can I get my evaluation form from? For me, personally, it took me about 3 months actually to just understand how to take it out there. So I am trying to buy you a lot of time today by telling you exactly where to download your evaluation form from. So this is a very important part to cater for, because this is the evaluation form that you would share with your evaluator in the future for him or her to be able to evaluate your speech or your project as a whole. And again, you have also the option of printing your own project and keeping a hard copy if you are that kind of person, and keep it in your files for the future. Finally, assessing your skill after. So after you have went through that material, after you have done your speech or your project, and after you have received your evaluation, you are expected to do that same assessment again after that much gain that you have had. And the reason this is important, because unless you have completed the second assessment, you see that little tick that we have seen on the pathway page on each project, it does not show up. Because unless you have done the assess your skill after, the system does not know, and we do not know that you have actually done the work and you have learned the values that you needed to learn in that certain project. I get questions about the order of projects and levels. Do we have to follow the project's level? Do I have to do project 3, then project 4? I don't like project 3. Can I just go ahead and skip it to project 4? You see, the system is designed to create cumulative experiences, to create cumulative learning. So you take your learning step by step and you learn things as you go. And these skills sometimes will support each other in that growth and in that development. It's not impossible, and the system does allow you to skip some projects and do other projects ahead. But I would tell you from a personal experience, you do not gain the same gain unless you actually follow the order that was originally designed. Can I do 2 pathways at the same time? Of course you can. And I have done that before. If you have the time, I personally advise you to go through it and do as many pathways as you can. But maybe focusing on a certain pathway gives you this sense of achievement every time you go through a next level and a next project and a next step. Sometimes people ask, can I repeat the same project again? I would like to do this project in Arabic, or I would like to do it in English. And again, that is also doable. And believe me, while it might seem tedious to repeat the same pathway again, but it would be very much interesting to see that minor differences in language, would it have an actual difference when it comes to the final outcome? When it comes to the progression and the pathways, we all know that in Toastmasters, we love to acknowledge our achievements and we love to recognize those who has done a very good job. Yes, and we are known to the world that we are the people who loves clapping and who loves applauding. And it's not just that, we love telling people how amazing and great they are, because we are great and amazing. Let me tell you, there's no one greater than Toastmasters anywhere in the world. Yes, DTM Jahangir, you agree? Yes, I know. Exactly. You see, in Toastmasters, just to spice things up in pathways, they did not just settle for one type of recognition. They actually gave us two types of recognition. You have the e-badges and then you have the e-certificates. Again, this is the first page you see when you log into the Basecamp. And you see this little right corner where it says My Badges. Once you have clicked on this, it shows you all of those badges that you have achieved by completing certain levels. So as it shows here, I already have 2 badges for level 4, 2 badges for level 3, and 2 badges for level 2, and 2 badges for level 1. So the more levels you complete, the more badges you have to show off with on your Basecamp page. Is it just that? No. We've just said that once you have completed the level, you can mark that completion, send it for approval for your Basecamp manager / VPE, and then you have the view certificate option. Here comes your certificate, where you can tell the world, I have completed a pathway level, a complete pathway level, an amazing achievement. An amazing achievement, not just in the Toastmaster world, but you can even share it with your coworkers, your smaller network that are even not familiar with the Toastmasters, because today, with the diversity that the pathways bring, with the enormous number of skills that we learn in the pathways, you would be so much proud to share this achievement with even the community that is outside of Toastmasters. And here comes the moment of truth. In order to achieve this amazing status, the distinguished Toastmaster status that comes with a lot of blood and sweat. I'm just kidding, with a lot of sweat, no blood. I don't know, I might have bled sometimes, but I'll just keep that under the rug, yeah. But let's keep it under a lot of sweat. You see, to achieve this amazing status, that amazing journey, that I would love to go through again because it made a complete whole new person out of me. You need to complete 2 pathways in order to achieve that DTM status, along with other tasks as well, most of them focusing on the leadership aspect. And if that is not an enough incentive for you, remember that we are a very strong community that supports solidarity and unity. And you see, in our community, your personal achievement also comes back to the club. Of course, your club is going to glorify with your achievements. That has nothing to do with the pathways and the system. They will always be there for you. They will clap for you. They will be so proud of you. But they will even be thankful because your achievement in the pathways also adds up to the distinguished club program that clubs are measured against each year across districts. So in other words, your achievement adds to your club achievements, and your club could show off at the end of the year by being a President Distinguished Club, all thanks to you. So please, don't put your achievement down because they are great, truly. Thank you very much. This was, for me, an amazing journey. I have tried to do it again after doing the first one, doing it the old way, as I said, when dinosaurs ruled the earth. But let me tell you this, the pathway is definitely an experience to look forward to. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, DTM Anoud. That was a very impressive and encouraging presentation. I'm always impressed by how effortless you make your presentations seem. I wonder if I finish 3 pathways, would I be able to speak like you? I'm not sure. As always, if any of the attendees have any questions, please write them down in the chat to me directly or in the general chat, and I will be able to voice them in the Q&A session, which will be very soon. I only have 2 questions so far, and I hope you don't mind if I abuse my position as a master of ceremonies and add in a couple of questions as well. Before we start the Q&A session, I would like to ask TM Rouzbeh Bashir to share with us the certificate of appreciation for DTM Anoud Omar. Thank you so much, DTM Anoud, for this wonderful, wonderful presentation. All right, let's start with the questions that I have so far. The first question is from TM Ramla. It's a question for TM Ritu. She's asking, one of the clubs has a language evaluator instead of 2 separate roles. A good comment on that. Why would that be in such a club, to have a language evaluator rather than 2 separate roles?
Yes, thank you so much for the question. Yeah. So from my limited experience in Toastmasters, having attended Toastmasters meetings from my own club and from the other clubs as part of a guest, what I understand is there are times when we may fall short of some role players to take on 2 roles. So what we do is we combine both the roles in the name of language evaluator. So even though we call it language evaluator, the duties remain the same. It's this grammarian plus R counter. So we have had several instances where this has come into use, where at the last moment we have had the R counter back on because he was stuck in traffic, or the grammarian, had to take his kid to the hospital, so couldn't make it. These are the places where I've seen language evaluator come into use. And honestly, I think it's a good thing to go forward, because as a grammarian, you're carefully listening to each person's words and saying, so anyway, you're also doing R counting in the back of your mind. But in this case, I would like to take the opportunity to pass this to experienced Toastmasters in our forum here. Probably if DTM Jahangir is available to please back me up and give any examples where language evaluator has a prominent role in Toastmasters. Okay, I don't see any more comments. So yeah, that's it from me, and back to you, MC Toastmaster Sharif.
Yeah, DTM Jahangir, would you, TM Ritu was asking if you would like to add something?
I would love to hear from the other presenters if they would love to, because they belong to 2 different countries. So that would be, I really don't know how it is being practiced in Egypt and in Kuwait. So they would be, if they can put a highlight on that part, that would be great. Because me and Ritu, I have seen the same thing happening, language evaluator. Some clubs do have the language evaluator, as in like, they don't keep grammarian on counter. And to my understanding as well, that is because of the limited members they're having. But I really don't think so. That would be the only reason for that. If Toastmaster DTM BG or DTM Anoud can put some highlight on that as well, that would be great.
Would DTM Manood or TMBG would like to chip in?
Well, across my experience, which really goes across several countries, we've always had the grammarian and an accountant and the role players. And I think even when members struggled because they had fewer numbers, some member would just volunteer to do both roles at the same meeting. So yes, I think it's usually the other way around. We usually tend to see the grammarian and the accountants.
So one instance that comes to my mind is when I attended a debate session as a guest in one of the Toastmasters. So there they specifically, so I asked them, where is the grammarian, where is the word of the day? And they mentioned that no, for our debate session, we will not be having grammarian counter, we'll only be having language evaluator. So that was a meeting where only debate was conducted. It was not a regular Toastmasters meeting. So I'm able to pick out one example from the past where I've seen language evaluator being the highlight as part of the agenda and not a last minute change. So yeah. At the end of the day, Toastmasters is all about learning and growing. Is language evaluator or grammarian, and we just want to know what's the best way to use our language. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. If I get to know any more inputs from other Toastmasters around, I'll definitely pass it across. But yeah, thank you for the good question. It keeps all of us thinking.
Right, thank you so much. The next question is for TMBG Gittins about the criteria for competing in the international speech contest. Is it that one has to be DTM or 6 speeches from the previous educational program to be eligible to compete in the international speech contest?
Thank you, moderator, and thank you for the question. As per my knowledge, the new speech handbook has been revised to include 2 levels of a path and a DTM. And previously, I think until last year, they were following 6 speeches from the old program, which is the Competent Leadership and Competent Communicators program. But now it's level 1 and level 2 of a path, or a DTM to be eligible for an international speech contest. However, if you are a newly chartered club and your club has been chartered and has been registered with the world headquarters, then there is an exemption for the members of this club for the contest. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, TMBG. I don't find any more questions. Yeah, DTM Jahangir, please.
Thank you, Brother Sharif. I have a question for DTM Anood in specific. I am an, Toastmasters for a very long time, I believe, and still not, 100% accepting pathways. I belong to that group of people. So I came across this news recently itself that we will be having, because we are having 11 paths as of now, that they will be bringing down to 5 or 6. Is it correct? I just want to know what exactly is happening, because 5 and 6, how exactly it would be.
Thank you very much, DTM Jahangir. It was already difficult enough to convince seasoned Toastmasters to actually fall for the pathways, and now when they are changing it, you're making my job even more difficult. Thank you very much for bringing this up. So what is Toastmasters International doing? That they are trying to upgrade the current learning management system that they're having, which is basically the Basecamp. And within that, it's going to start early in 2024. They are going to retract, as you have said, some of the pathways, and they are going to keep 6 pathways in the hopes that this is going to be the primary launch for that new system, because they are trying to make the current Basecamp more friendly, user-friendly, and they are going to launch an app that you can actually use through on other medias, other devices, so the mobile, which is a little bit difficult now with the current Basecamp. But with the new system that they are trying to update, of course, catering for all of the issues that they have already noticed in the current Basecamp, they are going to launch this new system, and they are going to focus on 6 of the pathways. However, if your certain pathway does not fit in within those 6, you would still be able to complete it and get credit for it. That is already there and published. So don't worry, even if you do choose a pathway and you do activate it and you do start working on it, and then that pathway is not in that new system, you can still finish that pathway and get credit for it. Back to you.
Thank you, DTM Anoud. If I may abuse my position as a Master of Ceremonies and ask a couple of questions, please don't mute me. My question for DTM Anoud about the pathways, I've just finished level 1 in the pathway persuasive influence. I have to tell you, my impression that the differences between the different pathways are very subtle, in my opinion. Is it because I'm still in level 1 and most levels, most pathways have very similar level 1? At which level would the different pathways diverge, and there would be like a significant difference between one pathway and another?
Well, first of all, Toastmaster Sharif, let me congratulate you on the fact that you have already went and delved into the other pathways that you did not register in. So good job on that. You are trying to look out for that. And in terms of the differences between the pathways, it's just like what you have said. The base of the pathway, where the system and the program and the curriculum is trying to actually build that basic level of skills, is more or less the same for level 1. And sometimes you would see it also have similarities even at the level of level 2. But the true changes and the true differences and the delving into that set of skills that you signifies a certain pathway usually starts at level 3. And in fact, it even pops up a little bit more and is far much more reflected into those elective projects, because those are very much designed to hit on the set of skills and the competencies that your pathways focus on. So maybe wait a little bit till level 3.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, I have a question for TMBG Gittins about the contest, if you don't mind. We have a room for a few more questions from the timer, as I've been told. You were saying that in a contest, to prepare to the contest, we have to rehearse a lot, and it takes a lot of time and preparation. What's your advice, or what's your background on how to balance between rehearsing so much and being so confident with every word you're going to say? Every word can be planned, and every gesture and every tone. But on the other hand, as my impression is that you want to appear like you have a flow. It's coming out naturally. It's not planned. How do we balance these two goals in a winning speech?
Moderator, your question has it's actually a balanced question. So you would say there's a lot of practice that goes with the speech that's well delivered, and not like a table topics speech wherein you can come up with an outline and delve into the topics, like add a personal story. So it's pretty much impromptu. But if you go on a different level, for example, like speeches, humorous speech contests, or the international speech contest, those are the subjects that you kind of rewrite and write and write. I think even until the end of on the day of the contest, you could come up with a brilliant idea and just change your whole speech, which I don't advise, by the way, because that just takes you out of the whole flow. So I would recommend that you start preparing the speeches early on and rehearse or identify the key points that you want, or certain punchlines that you would want the audience to know. And then when you have the punchlines, then you kind of develop the story. So do not go into writing a whole grand story because it's only a 5 to 7 minute speech. And I read that you should prepare for only 6 minutes because anything can happen in between. You can either impromptu, you can go blank, or you can have any sort of technical difficulty. So give you enough time to prepare. And of course, in any speech, you kind of, it depends on how the person is. So if you're a very competitive type of person, you want everything to be planned and rehearsed, start well in advance because you need a lot of time. And even when you go up to the speeches, you can actually present your same speech all the way up to the division contest, all the way up to the regional, but then going forth, if you do make it to the semifinals of the speech contest for world champions, and thereon you have a completely different speech. So I would say the balance, to answer your question, the balance would be, if you're in a competitive mode, then go ahead and start your preparation well in advance. If you're just going for the fun of it to learn, then at every contest level, you get to progress and make yourself better. That's in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, TNBG, and thank you all for this wonderful and informative meeting. It was my privilege and honor to be your Master of Ceremonies today, and I now would like to call DTM Jahangir Khan for the awarding session.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to one and all once again. First of all, I would love all of you to give a big round of applause to our Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Sharif. Though he's very new to Toastmasters, but very articulate and very professional when it comes to being a Master of Ceremonies. I have been super impressed, and that is something which I've been saying to our program quality director, that we are having some hidden gems in our District 20, and we are glad that on this platform, I'm able to bring those people in front, and I'm really glad that we have another MC for our future events. Toastmaster Sharif, wonderfully done. Thank you so much for being our Master of Ceremonies. Apart from that, ladies and gentlemen, I would love to please accept your certificate of appreciation on behalf of New Membership Orientation Program team. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sharif. Next up, can we present our certificate for appreciation to our timer, who has been making sure that we are all on time, along with the support of the presenters. Please, can we have the certificate of participation, appreciation to Toastmaster Wafiq Anwar, who's a new Toastmaster, and I really hope and wish to see him in front of us for the next upcoming sessions as a presenter or MC, inshallah. Thank you, Toastmaster Wafiq, for being our timer. Then we would love to acknowledge our IT Zoom moderator, who came in a bit towards the end because we had to replace someone who couldn't make it, but she has been exceptionally well prepared for the role. Toastmaster Rizvi, thank you so much for being our Zoom moderator for NMOP 5. And we look forward to have you as well as one of the presenter or Master of Ceremonies in the future. To the three presenters we had, starting with Toastmaster Ritu and Roy, Toastmaster Anud Umar, Toastmaster Bijikit, and the three beautiful, amazing women District 20 members. Thank you so much for your professional presentations and workshop for the new members. I must say that though Toastmaster Ritu was not having a presentation, but she made sure everything was very well explained from the very beginning itself. So thank you, Toastmaster Ritu, for that. DTM BG, you're a distinguished Toastmaster, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Not yet, but yeah, I don't go with the title. A lot of people out there are distinguished when it comes to their performances, when it comes to their experience, and Toastmaster BG is one of them. Very professionally delivered, very articulate. I have been, observing this for a very long time, and I could witness that today in your workshop today. Thank you so much for explaining beautifully how and which category a new member can compete. Finally, our final presenter for today, distinguished Toastmaster Anud Umar, a seasoned Toastmaster, I must say, someone who has traveled around the district, around the GCC itself, a very jolly person, I must say, though it's not that common when it comes to the pathway presentation, but she made sure she makes it very interesting for the audience and somewhat to seasoned Toastmasters as well, convincing them that, hey, it's not that bad. So thank you so much, DTM Anuj, for making it a wonderful session in which you explained everything very easily for the new members. Though we were not having a lot of attendees, but that is something which I said in the beginning itself. It doesn't matter. We had, I believe, 10 to 12 new members in the meeting room. And along with that, we will be sharing across this video, this recording with everyone. If you have made one person learn something, that is the success for us, and someone which I can see has learned a lot from the beginning till the very end is our Master of Ceremonies, who has been interacting with all the presenters, and he himself is a new Toastmaster. So it is a success for us. Thank you so much for each and every one behind the scenes and in the front as well for making NMOP 5 a big success. I wish you all the very best to the new members, success in your Toastmasters journey. One learning from my side is take one step at a time. Take it slow. That is what I always suggest to the new members. Take it as much as you can take it, because once you are in Toastmasters, you will be getting a lot of opportunities. So yeah, take it slow and learn as much as you can, because this is the best learning playground. That is how I say that is what Toastmasters is all about. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself, and good night, everyone.
Thank you so much, DTM Jahangir, for this wonderful and kind words. And